Second question. This one's more aimed at Sarah. Do you believe that white people today have some kind of guilt because of the crimes that were committed by white people in the past towards black people?
Okay.
So that's a question for you, specifically for you. And then the last
I'll try and answer them one after the other.
Yeah, and then the last question to both of you is, let us just assume, so that you don't have to state it, that the church has failed to come out into this topic in any meaningful or significant way. What is it that both of you would like to see the church coming out and saying and doing with regards to the topics you've talked about?
So first question is...
So the first question is, because there are examples of white working class communities also being marginalised, just like the common experience of many black people, are we not actually talking about a class issue rather than a race issue?
I personally believe that race and class are intertwined. Just like my brother over there said, the people that made the class and the race categorization did not look like me. They looked like you.
They didn't talk like me.
Didn't matter whether they spoke like you. I'm just saying they didn't look like.
What I mean is, if what your man said was true, then 1,400 children in Rotherham would not have been raped because they were white, and the system would have protected them.
All right, so if we go to...
You get the question. You got the question. You did understand the question. Okay, he told me.
Well, there you're saying... Yeah, I'm saying, I think, so what you're saying is it because I'd have a preference because the people who have created the legal system and every system are white, so they'd prefer me? Is that basically the point?
You understand the question.
Yeah, but if that's the case, why did they not prefer all of the young white girls?
There's only a certain amount of you can sit at the top table.
It's class. Yeah, but that's class. They despise me.
It's class only, but for us it's class and race. Yeah, class.
Okay, but that doesn't benefit. Yeah, but you think the elite care about me more than they care about you?
No,
What's that?
collateral damage.
I'm collateral damage.
Yeah, you're collateral damage.
Yeah,
Just like white people from Rotherham.
Yeah.
Collateral damage.
Yeah.
To make a buck.
But I'm not benefit. But what my point is, which I took from your question, is that somehow I'm going to be treated better and benefit better. They don't give a shit about me if they don't give a shit about you. That doesn't care. They don't care if I'm black or white. They don't care if the victim of a rape is black, white, or Asian. They don't give a shit. They care for the globe. They care for the global.
He was in there and I was in there.
If there was a what?
There was a burning
Guys.
Well, you believe that with me? You believe that with me?
Guys.
You believe that with me?
Guys.
All right, so to answer your question...
Pull Tommy Robinson out, yeah?
Guys.
Hang on.
Firstly, I hear your answer. You think it is a race.
I think race and class are intertwined.
You think it's a class issue?
I think it's a class issue. That's not to say that I don't believe the elite aren't racist. That's not to say that. What I'm saying is I don't believe
You just
that
don't believe you're one.
I'm not the fucking elite, bruv.
No, you're a racist.
I'm not a racist, mate. I actually got quite... listen.
My second question was aimed particularly at Sarah. Do you believe that white people today have some kind of guilt connected to the fact that our ancestors committed crimes to black people in the past?
I believe some white people do have guilt. But what I found with white guilt in my own experience is that it tends to raise its ugly head in narcissism. And when I say that, a lot of the times I was watching a video of a bunch of white people in America chain themselves, right, and wear t-shirts, say I'm sorry, while walking down the street looking really solemn. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, we don't want to put you in chains again. Like, if you feel guilty about that, that's cool, but we don't want to put you in chains again. But it's narcissistic because they're now making it about themselves again.
Are we culpable though?
Should we feel guilty?
Are white people today culpable for the crimes of our ancestors?
Yes.
What happens with white people today is that you benefit, your nations benefit from. Myself and Big Bro done a talk, and we spoke about Barclays Bank. Okay, we spoke about the Tate Gallery. We spoke about all these institutions that built the finance of these nations through slavery. So what your nation has done is you have benefited from, and you currently benefit from, the takings and the spoils of slavery.
But do you benefit?
I currently benefit in this country.
Okay.
I currently benefit
So should you feel
from
guilty?
slave. I don't feel guilty.
But should you feel? Should I feel guilty?
It's up to, I shouldn't. I'm not telling you to feel guilty or not.
Do you
like-
think I should feel guilty?
No, I tell you what I feel like. I feel like, this is what I feel like. If you apologize for something, if you apologize for something, or if you're sorry about something, I really do believe that apology is not enough. I don't believe...
Do you think I've got anything to apologise for to do with slavery?
Hang on, I'm not finished. So, an apology is not just words. An apology is also action, right? So,
Well, you say reparations. Is that what
so
you're saying?
when people say, "Oh, do you know what? I never owned a slave. You know, it wasn't me. Nothing to do with me." I'm like, okay, cool. But the benefits the benefits that you have from your nation, taken from all of these people.
Same benefits you have.
Yeah. However, I also live in a country where socio-economically, right, it's a double-edged sword, because socio-economically, people that look like me are at the bottom of the socio-economic ladder. So while I may benefit, people that
What
look
reason
like
do you
me.
believe that is?
Sorry, just before you start interviewing one another
Yes,
again,
sir.
can I get an answer to my third question? So my third question, and this, if you take it in turns to answer, please, is so that you don't have to state it. Let's just say that the church has flopped on this issue, like it flops on so many other issues. What do you want the church to be doing and saying with regards to the topics that you've talked about? And thank you again, both of you, for your time.
I despise the church, so I think it's the most weak, pathetic, cowardly leadership I've ever seen. I think they're weak on it.
Tell them how you really feel.
No, I think they're weak on every. I think the church is weak on every issue, and it's been weak on every issue, and it's been a total sellout to its.
So what would you like the church?
What I'd like them to do.
Yeah, because that's the question. I've already said that the church has flopped. The question is, what do you want the church to be saying?
I don't know if I necessarily want the church to do anything. I don't look to the church and say, "Oh my God, what's the church going to say?" I don't.
Personally, I'm disappointed the Nigerian pastor's gone, because I think the black church. I was hoping the black church would have a pivotal role in what's about to happen. I generally, truthfully, believe this country's heading to massive conflict, and I never thought it was. I never saw race problems. I've said for years, we're going to head into this big Islam, not Muslims and non-Muslims clash, where I always saw black people by our side. What I've witnessed in the last 4-6 weeks, the level of funding behind that organisation, the purpose of the organisation and what it's going to do in the United States before the election in 2020. I was hoping the black church would play a pivotal role in preventing.
I mean, the church though.
In preventing and separating black community from an anarchist, Marxist, mass destructive
But the
movement.
church essentially in these days and times is a monetarily led organisation. Do you know what I mean? Like you can have your faith in whatever you want, but the actual institution it's about money. So I would think that if the church aren't benefiting financially from this, they're probably not going to get involved.
I just think, as I've said, I think so. Like yourself, Sarah, like anyone who's willing to speak up, there's a massive place for someone to separate the black community from the Marxist destruction, and it needs to happen. And truthfully, I know some people, you may sit here and people don't like me, they may not like me. I generally don't want to see clashes, and I generally gauge the moment where we're heading, and I played my own part in that, which I've held my hands up to, and I would put my hand out to anyone who wants to take it to help them or to try and prevent clashes. Or I believe we are pawns. Who else said that question? I believe we're total pawns. I believe I've walked into it as a pawn, and I believe that those clashes they want to bring on the streets of this country, and I think that they're coming.